Well, in the next few weeks or so, you should be getting probably at least one of these two items in your mailbox. These are for the 2010 census, which is coming up this year. And joining me to talk more about how the census works and why it's important to our community is Dennis Donahue. Dennis is part of the Fort Wayne Complete Count Committee, and also Allen County Commissioner Nelson Peters. And gentlemen, we appreciate you joining us today to talk about this.
Glad to be here.
Good to be here.
Dennis, let's start with you. Kind of give us a little bit of the timeline, the breakdown of what people can be expected to do and when they can find out what the results of the census are.
Okay, well, the census questionnaires, or whatever you want to call them, surveys, questionnaires, have already been printed and published, and they should be sent out at the end of February, early part of March. Once the folks get them, there's 10 questions. It takes about 10 minutes, hence the logo, 10 questions in 10 minutes. Try to get those back by April 1st, which is considered Census Day. And if the Census Bureau doesn't receive them back from certain addresses because of a bad address or something like that, they will send people out to make sure that the address is correct. And then that's done usually in the midsummer, mid to late summer. And they usually get the numbers together for the president to sign in December of this year. And then they'll do some of the congressional and the budgeting issues with that information that's collected in 2011.
Now, are these pretty nosy questions, or are they
No,
pretty simple?
there's just 10 questions. Most of them, except for what is your phone number, have been asked on the census going back to the 1800s. So how many people live there, what's your name, what's your ethnicity, and all this information is important because they want to make sure that they're counting the right people. It doesn't matter if you live here. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a citizen. It just matters if you live here. So it's really important that we get all of the people counted that live in the United States right now.
Now, I held up two different forms because some folks will be getting one that's in both English and Spanish.
Right. Some folks will be getting those. Those are mostly geared towards some of the populations where there is a more Spanish-speaking communities, the Texas areas, the Southern Californias, but Chicago, Gary. There are some states that get none of those sent out. I think Fort Wayne will be getting an allotment of those, but I'm not sure how they decide how many. Maybe it's based on 2,000, but most people will just get the 10-question survey in the mail.
Okay. And people are worried sometimes about just how safe the information is that they put on these. What kind of assurances do they have that this isn't going to go any further than the U.S. Census Office?
Right. All the information that's collected is confidential to the point where the president can't even access it. The Department of Commerce that oversees the U.S. Census holds on to the information for 72 years, which was considered the average lifespan when they put this into law. So it's all confidential to the point where the people that are coming out and collecting the information had to swear to an oath that they would not reveal any information. It's not going to be used for anything. It'll be used for demographics. It'll be used for programming. I can say that it's safe, you know, just because it's protected under the Constitution. So,
Commissioner Peters, Dennis mentioned a few of the reasons why they gather the information for the census, but from your standpoint and the standpoint of local community leaders, this information is vital for you as much as it is for the federal government.
Absolutely, Mike. When you look at the number of congressional districts as a matter in the state of Indiana, those are predicated on the number of people that are in the state. And if we show less people through our efforts with the census, we end up with less representation in Washington. Additionally, we receive dollars that are likewise predicated on the number of people that are counted. It's absolutely essential that we maximize everything that we can in this community with regards to the census so we can ensure as great a return on those federal dollars as we can get.
And as I mentioned, you're part of the Fort Wayne Complete Count Committee. What is the role of that group as far as the census is concerned?
the Complete Count Committee is, well, the first one was in 2000, and what they did is the census people come to the communities and they say, you need to find the people. You need to find the people that speak, in our case, Burmese, Spanish, some of the immigrant communities. They go to the churches. So what the city does is we organize it, and of course this year we have the county as a subcommittee. We make sure we get representation from all those groups that will probably be a lot more trusted than if the government were to come to them and say, hey, we need to have this information. So the Complete Count Committee's role is to basically get the word out to those organizations so that they can feed this information to their clients and make sure everyone gets the word out that when this thing comes, fill it out and send it back in.
And you've been working primarily within the city of Fort Wayne.
Just within the city of Fort Wayne.
Okay. And I know you've been working kind of alongside the Fort Wayne Committee in terms of getting the message out to folks in Allen County. What kind of things are taking place? I know New Haven, for example, has a very robust effort underway to get the message out.
Right. Well, thankfully, through your efforts and the efforts of others who understand the importance of the census, we've been able to partner with the city of Fort Wayne in getting the word out. We've met with trustee associations. We've met with a number of the smaller communities in Allen County, including Monroeville and Hoagland, Harlan. We've met with Woodburn and just a number of those smaller communities to make sure they get the word out. Most recently, Mayor McDonald in New Haven, through his Mayor's Youth Advisory Council, has put together a group of younger people, high school age people, to really push the word. They have done a bang-up job. They're putting together some mailers. They're going to be contacting people. New Haven certainly wants to make sure that they don't get missed. It's my understanding that in the time to come, they will make an appearance at the Fort Wayne Comets hockey game, and they will be launching T-shirts with census information to get people revved up to make sure